Today, on another note,
My president is black.
It seems that thick is still in. What Uganda is going to do is a curvy women tourism product.
It's like a fetish. Milk it for all it's worth. Milk it. That bird did.
The relationship has gone sour in the children there. Would you stay or go for the sake of the children?
That makes sense.
We talk about going sour, but then sometimes what was sour, once they add a little sugar, is some limeade, and it tastes good again.
If you in a relationship and you're only staying there for your children, you're doing yourself an injustice. And you were just trying to do what they say.
Hair loss happens. So we have scarring and then we have non-scarring.
Elmer
And
Fudd.
and all of us have.
This is bad news, okay? This is bad news for the revolution of women.
We do have a show to do. Welcome to On Another Note. You're watching because this is not your average talk show. Listen. So, we got some congratulations in order, right?
Indeed.
So, congratulations on winning the 2019 general election.
Yes!
We, of course, it was a time in the BVI that everyone was, hyped about and what have you. I mean, it's an election. It's always a hype time and what have you. So, best of luck to the administration.
Indeed.
Congratulations again to
Best of wishes
Yeah.
to the beginning of whatever this new BVI or whatever it is. Yeah. Yes?
My president is
That's
black.
I don't know.
Anyways, I don't know what Adrian is. Okay, so we're going to just get straight into it. Listen. It seems that thick is still in.
Still?
I'm sorry.
I was just like, still?
I'm sorry, ladies.
I feel like thick has had such a long reign.
I
Do you know the
know.
fads that go in and out? All of a sudden we're
you
like
better stay there
on
because-
thick, and the only thing that has changed is the waist size. We're still on thick.
Yeah.
We are on thick. And the reason why I'm talking about this right now is I came across an article about a pageant in Uganda that's celebrating curvy women. Now, it seems that the pageant is actually just an aspect of of what Uganda is going to do is a curvy women tourism product. So the pageant is out there, and they're going to be, of course, celebrating curvy women because their populace is filled with, you guessed it, curvy women. So
What's the definition of curvy though? Didn't I say that?
you. Can Adriana stand up, please? Show them what we mean.
This would be a perfect example.
Yes, listen. Okay, but y'all know how she look anyhow. Hello. So, of course, they've been getting some flack about it because, some persons are comparing it to like sex tourism and
It's like a
prostitution.
fetish. What do you call those for?
Well,
They like fat people.
But I don't feel like it should have that connotation. I mean, remember in the BVA too, at some point we had like the Miss Big Bold and Beautiful.
Bold and beautiful.
It's just us sharing differences in body types.
I agree.
So just like our Miss Universe, everybody's like a size 2 and 0. I don't see anything wrong with them doing a pageant.
I agree.
But for me, it's more than just the pageant because it's not about the pageant really. They're only holding the pageant to gather all the curvy women for tourism.
Yes.
So it's nothing like our bold and beautiful. It's actually, this is my tourism product. And what I think is this sounds horrible to say. I agree with the fact that the women in Uganda have a unique shape. Most of them are something to look at. They're really out of proportion, not negatively, meaning they're behind, their derriere is ridiculously huge. They have tiny waists.
That's why I wanted Adriana to send up.
You know, they have tiny waists naturally. They have, you know, so they have this shape that you don't see too often. And now, like April was saying, you know, curvy women are still in. That's a big thing. And what has happened, one of the blogs I was reading was saying what has happened over the years is they find that a lot of tourists that come there for the animals and the wildlife and the culture are taking a lot of pictures of their women because they've never seen some of the shapes. So now they're turning it into a product.
in Uganda.
You would fit right in, homegirl.
It's not even one of those taboo things anymore. This is what people are doing to their body around the world. So I don't see that.
That's a good point.
It's gonna happen to bring more tourists to Uganda, Dominican Republic, BVI, wherever.
They actually listed that as one of the reasons because they realized that on social media, you know, they're celebrating all these curvy women who are doing it cosmetically. Yes. So the fact that they have it natural is like, hey, you don't.
That's what it should look like. That's what it should look like.
Just put your pig on a slaughterhouse. Yeah. Okay. I don't like it, but okay.
Yeah, but they're a very conservative country, so it surprised me that they even are interested in doing something like this. I still think though we are really just
We're so vain.
but even
We're so
outside of vain, what are we doing to these women?
You know
Like,
how hard it is for a woman with curves or who's thick or who's
Tell
plus
us.
size growing up, and then all of a sudden now, after 20-something years of your life being teased, called fat, being harassed, now all of a sudden it's like your backside is some kind of thing to praise. How much times you've been teased in school, you can't run, you don't participate in certain sports because it just ain't working out.
Go ahead, tell us your story, Adrienne.
Everybody
Tell
trying
us
to
your
pour a
story.
bottle on your behind, talking about it could balance a bottle and big. No! And then all of a sudden now you're telling me, it's like, well, Uganda, you better be getting it for the most money. Like, milk it for all it's worth. Milk it. You better have a crazy infrastructure afterwards, cause what's the historical? We're still kind of in Black History Month a little bit. We got one more.
Venus Cotton Tucks.
Yes. That's how it reminds me of that. Like she was just
Sarah
put on display
Bartman.
because her behind, her body shape was so to the extreme. And when I look at her, a lot of women in my family are shaped like that. It was kind of destiny. Even though mommy was like, no, you ain't gonna be shaped like us. And then, poof, I was shaped just like them. And then, my daughter too, she got it on both sides. I was like, oh God, what?
And that's beautiful.
I got put her on the vegan diet from no. We have to control it because it's a little uncomfortable. Like I guess you really have to embrace them and be confident, but it could be a little touchy.
But you know, on the flip side though, I do see it as something that's so body positive because we're also in a body positive movement, or some of us. And I think that the fact that they are celebrating that body type now is now your chance to have the last laugh, like, ha! You know, like, because I used to get too when I was younger, eating all the food in the house. Whatever. But no, it's like I'm in the gym right now, and you know, up to yesterday, someone was like, hey, you know, you have a really nice body. And the funny thing is, I always admired her. I was like, and we had a discussion. She was like, you know, people keep saying that they want to look like me, and she's like, no, I want to look like you. I want to be thicker. So I think it is just a good time. It's like the best time to be thick. But I'm not saying that to say that you shouldn't be who you are. If you're slim, you're slim. If you're thick, you're thick. But that to also see that being thick is normal. Being a plus size woman is normal. It's okay to be you.
It's a version of normal, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So embrace the curves, ladies, because clearly later on in life, it's
I would
gonna
like
pay off.
to follow through, like just actually look up and see how maybe a year after they implement this as a tourism package and see what benefit, what profit.
Yeah, that's what I said.
let me-
Infrastructure better be
that's the part where I'm
crazy.
confused.
Let me mention this as well, what they're doing in celebrating these women in the actual pageant. They're also using the women as ambassadors to the different cultures that they represent, because Uganda is a a big country, lots of people, and each one of them represent like a different tribe, a different ethnic group. So those persons will also be selling that as well. So it is, I guess you can say, like selling the biodiversity product
It
as well
is.
through them. So
So
big up to
instead of
Uganda.
using, instead
so-
of using like a typical model like that they would normally use because it
Like
appeals to a wider audience,
Yes.
they've decided we will embrace our natural women
Yeah.
who are full of body. So
looking
yeah,
forward
like you
to
were
that.
saying.
So
big
wait,
ups
so
to them.
we're going to Uganda?
Well, April.
I mean, once clearly I'm gonna blend
I
in, so
won't-
I go.
I won't be able
I
to.
go-
I won't be able to make it.
Why you can't? Remember the movie
Africans
Fat Chicks
like
or Fat
women
Girls?
who have
Fat
more
Chicks
meat on
with
their
Monique,
bodies.
Yeah.
and then she found that African prince, and then she had the slim friend, and the slim friend was like, "Pass me that fufu." I just fat too. She was like, "This is gonna be me and Anja." Don't worry, we gonna sort you out. They got some kind of miracle something over there for that. We gonna add that.
It's terrible. Don't worry, skinny women will be back in before we know it. It's going to be 20,
Okay.
30 years.
Listen,
But
Yeah, okay.
we'll be back.
We hold.
On another note.
On our usual tidbit about Virgin Islanders, entrepreneurs, creators, innovators. I'm sorry, ladies, but I'm just gonna do this again. Virgin Gata.
VG
We only
message.
got love for VG anyway,
My
so
home-
it's okay,
my
honey.
hometown, my love,
We know
Fat
this.
Virgin.
We know this.
Not literally. That's so bad.
Listen, don't go there.
Especially considering the
What
topic
we just talked
came
about,
out.
I was just considering the topic we took, and I'm like, Fat Virgin.
Is this what she looked like? Ah, no wonder.
Who tell you? Who? Producers, this is your fault. You gave me this topic. I'm gonna milk it, Virgin Gata to the bone. So today's feature will be Living Fit BVI, and, which is also, in fact, I don't care. She's a good friend of mine, Sasha Flax.
Nice. We love Sasha.
Yeah, so everybody who may know or have heard about Sasha Flax, she's an entrepreneur, period.
Yeah.
There's no real limit to what she kind of puts her hands in, even an influencer as far as
Yeah.
in the community, BVI wide, she's well known for executing projects, event planning, and her multiple roles or even changing jobs. But Living Fit BVI was something a little bit more special and near dear to her because of her health journey. So, I mean, just like me, I have friends who share similar struggles. We're fluffy alike. But on her journey with trying to just get healthier and fitter and working out and eating cleaner or better, she just realized, you know what? Every time we try to find something concerning or pertaining to healthy stuff, whether it's clothes, whether it's stuff to use, workout gear, or even finding workouts to do that will suit your body type or your blood type or just what you could physically do. It was like a struggle and finding something that suit you. So she's like, well, you know what, let me just go ahead and do that on my own. And it made sense and it worked out. And it started with her, of course, she has her page, Living Fit BVI, on Instagram. But she's gaining momentum with that. But then now she's broadened it into providing products such as water bottles, workout gear mats, shake bottles.
And bling bottles.
Bling
just put that
bottles,
out there because she
Fitbit.
has like some rose gold.
Oh
and
yes,
some very
in the fruit
fancy-
infusers.
I'm
The
telling
ones
you.
with the speaker so you could
One with the
Yes.
speakers. Even me, I'm looking at her like, how far did you get this from? I want 3. Well, now I feel like I'm her spokesperson almost, because when people see that, do you know her? Can you give this money to her? A pro and con living in VG. So by her having this, I got a gift for you guys. I have it behind the scenes. I hope the producers don't get mad at me.
Ooh.
So this is one of her water bottles.
Is it really?
I
And
have one of those.
I've seen people with these. I didn't realize that's where they got
Yes.
them from.
right. I mean, there's an exception to some of them, but this is like her almost bestseller. And now she's even kind of expanded and gotten more sizes. So there's a
Yes.
medium
Oh.
and there's a small.
Yeah.
And then it has before that, I would see this and then be like, okay, well, good morning, you've got it. It has all these inspirational quotes and stuff telling you what to do. And remember, April, you had a post too. You had your water bottle against someone else's sometime. She was like, well, I'm going to get my Beyonce on. But then when these came out, I was like, I don't even need a marker. And I'm writing it up on a water bottle. So even things like this is like working out in style. You have something there, BPA free, and it's sexy. You want me to pass it on?
Yeah.
You want to touch it?
I want to keep
You want to touch it?
Listen, when I touch this bottle, you know what happens? I want to pee. Because I have one. And listen, every time I drink between patients, I have to run to pee. But thank you, Sasha.
But that's
You
good.
changed my life. I feel cleaner and greener.
Because we do need to drink more water, you know. We really
We
do.
really
We
do.
should be finishing one of those every day because our body needs to flush itself of toxins and all of that.
I need this as a
Yes.
reminder because sometimes we
It is a good
forget.
reminder.
We forget to do what we need to do.
And if it's just there sitting, like me, I'm terrible with drinking water. And I can't use the bathroom unless I drink water. So I have the days where I'm like, geez, I use the bathroom today. I drink my
I
water.
know,
When
right?
you
But
use the
if
bathroom,
I
what do
see
you
that
mean?
there and it's like only on 9 o'clock, I like,
feel so
duh,
bad.
I feel bad.
Yeah.
So it holds you accountable and all the little products and knickknacks.
When you say use the bathroom, you mean number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
If I don't drink enough water, I can't.
Me too.
Oh, this is too
Listen,
much.
these are facts of life, okay?
I just want to say
You know?
that even my clients keep me accountable with this bottle. If I have a client at like 11 o'clock and my bottle is still at 7, they're like, excuse me, doc, what's happening? You need to get it together.
And then you start to
And by the
guzzle
time
that.
when they leave, I just go
Yes.
to catch
Me
up.
too. And it really helps when you start at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Like when I used to do the 5 a.m. walks, I ain't doing it now, Jesus. But when I was doing it, and once I started drinking at 5 a.m., you'd be surprised by 3 o'clock, you're like on 5 o'clock. And then you're done at 6. Please be done at 6 because anytime after 6, you'll just be peeing all night.
And this is a skin measure too. I want to say that you kind of glow up when you actually hydrate your body, hydrate yourself. Your hair grows better, your face responds better. Some of the conditions that people have, diabetes and so on, they respond better when you can keep yourself accountable for how much water you should drink. Maybe
Nice.
it doesn't have to be this much, but just be consistent with it. So this is so encouraging for so many people.
So Sasha has a gold mine.
Yeah.
Yes, she does.
So we could, address all the insecurities about even wanting to work out, because some people want to work out, even like not people who are trying to get fit, but people who just want to be cute with it, be stylish with it. You know, you're not walking around with your old regular water bottle. You want to do it in style. And so she provides that feature.
Yes,
So-
absolutely.
And congratulations, Sasha, on your new appointment.
Other coordinator. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I think that was a picture.
I love it, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good
that's
interjection. Big up to
VG glow
Sasha
up.
Flex.
Get some VG sprinkle sparkle in your life.
Oh my gosh, with this thing.
So we're gonna give you a quick commercial break. We're gonna fight over this bottle, and we'll be right back on another note.
Can I see it though?
The relationship has gone sour, and the children there. Would you stay or go for the sake of the children?
That makes sense.
We talk about going sour, but then sometimes what was sour, once you add a little sugar, is some limeade, and it tastes good again.
If you in a relationship and you only staying there for your children, you're doing yourself an injustice. And you were just trying to do what they say.
Hair loss happens. So we have scarring and then we have non-scarring.
Elmer
And
Fudd.
I mean, and all of us have.
This is bad news. Okay? This is bad news for the revolution of women.
Shavanda Naturals, handmade natural products made in the British Virgin Islands. Our products are sourced from natural and sometimes organic ingredients. Shavanda Naturals is the perfect gift for your loved one this season. Try our hair and body butters, natural handmade bar soaps, lip balms, shampoos, conditioners, oils, pomades, and scrubs. Also available for wholesale to hotels, bed and breakfast, as well as retail markets. Call us at 443-5404 or send us an email at shavanda@gmail.com.
Welcome back to On Another Note. Juicy topics before and juicier topics coming up. But before we do that, let's just give a shout out to Coconut Lounge where we are right now. You know, awesome spot at the Pier Park. So check them out. And now it's time for... Why did I just do that with my voice? And now it's time for hot topics.
I don't want it to.
We need a smoke machine though, just for that moment.
Should I walk with one lighter?
Yes, I know, right? And I'm about the candle. Bloop, bloop.
Hey, today's hot topic. Ladies, the relationship has gone sour. And there are the children there. Would you stay or go for the sake of the children? I was doing my research and reading. One mother was saying she would prefer for her children to, have access to both parents. And that's one of the reasons why she'd stay. While another lady was saying that, that's like lying to your children. What would you say? I prefer your advice better. I trust you.
I just think it depends on the nature of the relationship, because we talk about going sour, but then sometimes what was sour, once they add a little sugar, is some limeade, and it tastes good again. So I'm gonna say, I think it depends on what is going on in that particular relationship. I, for one, am 100% against abusive relationships. So if you're getting pung up, if you got black eye, you got actually lock your children in a room and turn up the music so that they know, hey, you're getting pung up. I think it's time to say, hey, this is crazy.
But let's say you just let's look for a mild situation. You just say you run out of love.
How do you run out of love?
I don't act like people don't do it every day.
How do you run out of love though?
You run out of love.
So
you're no longer interested.
So it's like a tap and then it's like, it's done.
It's true. It is very true that people fall out
with
of
the
love.
catch fast.
I don't
Especially
think
if
that's
you're
love.
growing in different directions, because that is the most common reason why people fall out of love. If you are not growing for your love to intersect, for your growth to intersect, and both of you have gone in for separate goals that are running parallel, that's where people run out of love.
I see where you're coming
Because you're
from.
going to run into somebody else who's along the path that you're going, and then that creates some problems in your relationship. I'm just saying.
And sometimes we fall in love for the wrong reason. So a lot of times you've been in lust for a lot of years and you equate that to love when it wasn't really love. And then when you get to the point where you realize there's no substance, you then say, oh my goodness, how did we get 8 years into a relationship? I don't know if I really ever loved you in a real way, but I love you, the person, but I don't know if I'm in love with you. And a lot of times you'd be surprised how many relationships. So you can run out of love.
But
yes, it's very true.
it's about the kids today though. Let's
Bertha's like, reel it in. Reel it in, girl.
Really, yes. It's about the kids though.
Let's say they do stay. I think the quality of the relationship that you are able to have with that person is what's important. If you have kids and then you have agreed to have a healthy friendship, even though you are not in a relationship anymore, but you want to stay under the same roof, that's an agreement and a communication. That's some kind of contract, or you know what I mean, that you guys sign. But if you're going to stay in a relationship where, yes, you have kids, but then not that you're getting black eyes and bruises and stuff, but you are being emotionally abused. And this person constantly gaslighting. Gaslighting is something very subtle in relationships that people need to understand. They're very traumatic. Because when they cause that emotional, blunt trauma to you, then say, what are you talking about? I never do that. I didn't mean it like that. That's gaslighting.
Everybody should watch that movie, because that phrase came out of an old movie. That movie
I gotta watch the movie.
the guy literally was turning on the gaslight. I don't even know how to describe it. Like back in the day when they just started with electricity or whatever. That there was an actual light that you would turn on that would let you know that I guess the place is being heated, like a furnace. And he was doing that. He was going up in the. I don't want to let it go, but watch that movie. It came from that, because he was like turning her crazy and making her seem crazy.
So those relationships, I would say,
No,
raise
you're
healthy
right.
kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, raise healthy kids instead of causing trauma to the kids who are watching you go through this. And then those same children learn the behavior and use them in bullying in school. They go on to use them in their relationships that they have. So you're not just, the decision is not as simple as just stay. You know what I mean? It's the quality of the relationship that you're staying in is important for the same children you think you're trying to save. You can mess them up real bad.
But even if you have a civil relationship, it would be kind of weird for me to be in a civil relationship with my other half for the sake of the children, and the children see my husband coming through the door at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, I mean, what happened here? How come you're not sleeping with mommy?
That does happen though. That's actually a true scenario. I know of
if he see
some
Tom
scenarios
leaving
like that.
through the house, through the door at 5 o'clock in the
Or
morning.
even
How
how about this?
it's
when
like it's co-parenting basically, but just you under different circumstances where maybe you just live together, you have an understanding, and you have to communicate that to the children. You can't just have the children just sitting there under this impression that they are living, this is their family, and the parents are together when technically they're not, I mean, whose life is it? Is it your life or is it the children's life? When the children grow up and move on, and you that old hag, talk about the children have finally gonna be a man. That makes sense? When the man done gonna do what he wanted to do with whoever he wanted to do it with, and you were just trying to do what? Save face? Save face?
Parents are, I'm so
I
sorry.
really love that point. I love it. I
makes
really
sense.
do.
So if you come to an understanding, just like in certain co-parenting situations, if you come to an understanding, maybe when it's happening, it's nasty. But at some point, you have to be adults. When you come to that, hopefully, who all the parties involved are adults, and they come to an agreement, like Swiss Beats and Mashonda and Alicia Keys, they have this. I keep watching their relationship, saying, what? Oh, how?
But then they don't live together. So Mashana doesn't live under the same roof.
But when it was happening, he was technically married to Mashana.
He was still married to her.
Things still there. He was living there or staying there or sleeping there whenever he was coming to see his child. So that's why Mashana was like, Alicia Keys, you the homewrecker because he's coming home to me still, blah, blah, blah. So at some point...
That's Dracula.
My voice. If you in a relationship and you only staying there for your children, you're doing yourself an injustice.
I agree.
And to me, that's a lack of self-love.
Yes.
And confidence and security.
Okay.
Because
you're
you're not leaving that relationship based off of those things. Like, well, what if I go out on my own and I don't find security, or I don't find somebody to love me like he kind of loved me, but it's not really the true love that you deserve? Why stay there on this shoulda, coulda, woulda? You know, that's why people stay in bad relationships, because they're so insecure of not finding something that's better than they actually have, not knowing that what they have is awful, or not knowing that something out there is better.
Or thinking that
or
they even deserve that bad treatment.
That they deserve the greatness, because
To me, it's
living in
easier
certain
said than done
communities.
once you have children, though. Once you
Right.
have children.
Or people will tell you that because you have children or because you're married, you should make these things work. Yeah, to a degree, but if every night you're going home crying and you're sad and you lack confidence and the urge and motivation to do things that you want to do or love to do based off of your situation of being unhappy, really and truly unhappy, is doing your children an injustice, because they're watching you and they're figuring, I want to be just like mommy and daddy when I grow up. And mommy and daddy are living a terrible life.
But I'll say this. I had a friend who actually went through a situation like this, and they made a conscious decision as a couple to stay together because they had children. And for them, their children were coming to an age where it would be easier for them to understand that differences in marriages makes things unequal to live with and can make people unhappy. So they didn't want to do it when the kids were a bit younger, because they didn't feel like the youngest child would be able to understand, and the youngest child was already struggling in other areas. So they didn't want to add stress. So they made a decision as a couple, you know what, we hate each other, but for the sake of these kids, until we can get this child to balance out some teenage issues that he was just going through at the time. We're going to make this work for the sake of our kids. And they did that. And I thought that was honorable. I will say this though, when they did make the decision to separate as a couple, unfortunately, the oldest child felt like, this is so unfair, and she was really unhappy about the entire situation. How dare you, make us feel that you guys were working things out, because it had been going on for years. So after a while, the kids thought, okay, this is just how love is.
Yeah.
They don't talk. The kids just. So the oldest child had a really difficult time in accepting what was happening when the actual divorce came. The son had an easier time understanding what was happening, because now he was a bit more stable. So even though the daughter, who had seemed stable at the time, the divorce affected her differently. The son was like, I understand. If my mom ain't happy, I don't want she to be with somebody who don't make her happy. And daddy, if you ain't happy, separate. I get it. For the girl, it was, I can't believe that this is happening. And it completely tore her entire world apart. So I think, like Adriana said, conversations are really necessary. Not everyone can sit and have this civil of a conversation. Their relationship was not civil at all, but they had to pretend for the sake of their kids. And if it were me, maybe this is a decision based on where my kids are, that I would sit down and go, you know what? We hate each other, but these kids need us together. And we will do this together, but have the conversation with the children, so that they understand, whether they're old enough to understand or not, that they understand mommy and daddy really love each other, but we love you guys more. So what may have to happen is mommy and daddy will be here for the next couple months, but daddy will have to leave, and he'll come back as often as he needs to, but we just can't, a conversation needs to happen, and we need to stop pretending that relationships can continue with children in the background. If you're unhappy, even the more you hide it, children know. They are sensitive and emotional.
And then they reflect
so just have the conversation.
Yeah. They go out in the world confused. They're like, maybe I should make the relationship work because mommy tried to make it work with this man. And then they hook on to every boyfriend, and the boyfriend, they go out and get abused. They go out and be mistreated. They go out and they don't know their self-worth, because some of them think that their relationships should be based off of this loyalty thing. Oh God, I hate that word. But because some people, they're unaware of how powerful these connotations are. Loyalty, commitment, and love. Yep. Our definitions, even though the book definition is there, how we express that, to me, is very different. And if people really define the love in all its complexities, not just love being a commitment between a man and a woman and sticking it out, but love being almost in its true unconditionals, like mommy and daddy didn't work out, but I still love your father because we had you, and at one point I did love him because we had you. And the definition of love shouldn't be based off of somewhere where you're not happy, but your happiness is key. And if mommy and daddy agree to make you happy, then that's us showing each other love and us showing you love. So they need to define that love. Yeah. That us parting ways is because we love you, not because we don't love you, and we're not reflecting a healthy relationship. Yes. If people define what they mean by love, then it would have so much messed up children and terrible relationships now, because our generation suck at relationships.
Tell me about it.
So define your love. Define your love. That's a positive note to end on. So let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with On Another Note.
At Horizon Catering, we deliver the highest quality food, innovative presentations, and professional services. We know how important catering is to your event, so we cut no corners to ensure a satisfying and memorable event. We can turn your next event from the ordinary to the extraordinary. For the highest quality food, innovative presentations, and professional services, call Horizon Catering at 284-499-2132 or 499-2142. At Blossoms, our floral experts use their creative flair to design beautiful and exotic bouquets. We are the on-island wedding experts, and for boating enthusiasts, we can help you to add a touch of floral elegance, life, and color to your yacht, mega yacht, or super yacht. You can also find a wide variety of silk and dried flower designs, fresh cut flowers, local flowers, tropical blooms, fruit and gourmet baskets, chocolates, balloons, both helium and air-filled, various gift items, and an assortment of plush animals. With a floral experience spanning over 28 years, we have earned a reputation for excellence both locally and internationally. We've even worked with celebrities. At Blossoms, we continue to deliver smiles and watch our customers bloom.
Indeed, yes. Hey, welcome back to On Another Note. And at this time, we're going to talk about our health note. So, on a previous episode, I spoke about some of the scarring versions of alopecia. So,
Lack of edges.
Right? Lack of edges. And we perceive that as a receding hairline affecting mostly Black women, I have to say. Then we also talked about the second major scarring alopecia in the Black population, which is called central cicatricial centrifugal alopecia, CCCA, which is that small bald patch that happens on the center of the scalp, usually coming in with a little bit of tenderness, sometimes some pus bumps in the area, but that smooth patch then grows into a big one. And so a lot of women are also suffering from that. But I want to just talk about the other categories of hair loss, because not only are we plagued with scarring versions of alopecia, I mean, on a daily basis, young and old, we love our hair, and hair loss happens. And in some cases, it's non-scarring. So that's the second category of hair loss that we have. So we have scarring and then we have non-scarring. So let's talk about non-scarring a lot, because even though I mentioned that it's like an epidemic with the traction alopecia and the CCCA, there's another discomfort with the non-scarring version. Sometimes people just present to me, or even at home, they might notice it, that my overall scalp hair is just thinner than it was before. You've heard that complaint? Yeah. Like your hair is just thinner overall. When I was a teenager, I had thick, bouncy hair, and then all of a sudden now, your hair is thinning out and you wonder why.
Pregnancy.
So that is one. So I want to say that there's so many different factors that we have to consider. And of course, hormones, that's a major one.
Those
so
critters.
pregnancy, do you know of this philosophy? Well, first of all, during pregnancy, a lot of persons, when they take the multivitamins, for the pregnancy vitamins, they always talk about, oh, my hair got longer, my hair got thicker. It got, yes, they're really happy. But right after pregnancy, then they get increased shedding.
Elmer Fudd.
I mean, all of us are... All of us are pregnant. Not pregnant, but we're not pregnant. Oh my God. We're not pregnant. All of us are moms here.
Not yet.
While I had a surrogate, I mean, you guys actually went through pregnancy.
Yeah. My hair was coming out in clumps. In clumps. I was like, what?
Yeah. So this is something that, I mean, we have to definitely address. Why do you lose your hair so much after pregnancy? Well, one of the basic and most important thing is vitamins, especially your folic acid, your iron levels. Those two are really important. So as a parent, you're breastfeeding, you're gonna pull all this nutrition, you're giving it to this newborn baby, and you've also just lost a lot of your nutritional store by actually carrying the baby. And so what happened is your vitamin levels drop so low that the only thing you have to do is to kind of save yourself in terms of you're gonna shed the things that you don't really need to survive. So people get brittle nails, the nails don't want to grow. They get a whole lot of shedding, and we call that telogen effluvian.
Wow, these words are just...
I know.
They knock
Dermatology
me
is
out.
amazing. We just have the lingo.
It's just amazing.
It's amazing, yeah. But a lot of times when women come to me right after they've lost, they've gotten their baby, but they've lost their hair, one of the things we focus a lot on is replenishing those vitamins. So I want to say one of the key things is do not stop your prenatal vitamins immediately after delivery. There's a postpartum period of about 6 weeks, so you ought to continue it up to that full 6 weeks. And in some cases where your telogen effluvium is so significant, I usually keep it on for another 3 months after that, and then we gradually taper it off.
Gynos don't tell you that. Obstetricians don't tell you that.
Sometimes because they're not focused on that part. Their job is done when the baby's out. And 6 weeks later, that's it. But you are also still suffering.
You look terrible, but how's the baby?
Exactly.
But your hair is still falling out. You're patching up. You should get that fixed. But your baby's healthy. Listen.
Exactly.
Can I drink milk again after this?
I
Probably
know,
not.
right?
But the baby needs your milk.
And then let's talk about another hormonal wave that can cause this non-scarring alopecia, menopause. Okay, we're not there yet, but some of us know
I
women
think
who
we're
are
there.
going
PMS.
through- No,
myself.
it's totally different. But what can happen is, first of all, before you encounter menopause, after pregnancy, sometimes your hormones are never the same like you were before. Sometimes after that, you notice, hey, I start getting these facial hairs.
Nothing's the same
All of a
after
sudden,
pregnancy.
your hairline, the temples, hair are receding. So that's a little bit of hormonal imbalance. And there's a version of hair loss. It's called androgenic alopecia. Androgenic alopecia. Let me break that down. So androgens, these are male hormones.
So turning into a man?
Well, it's some of us
Androgynous?
masculinize, some women masculinize. On one episode, I was talking about polycystic ovarian
You did, and it
syndrome,
scared
they
me, 'cause I have,
masculinize.
like,
So not
10 out of
everybody
10
has
of
to,
those.
exactly. Not many of us have to, not everybody who have male hormone effects have to get the beard and everything, but some people just perceive it as a little bit of thinning of the scalp hair on top. What are you doing all of that? You gotta listen. You don't have to tell the truth. You don't have to tell them all.
I know, right?
It's okay. We're gonna fix that.
But I know, you gonna fix it.
Don't talk all. We're gonna fix that. But I have to say that one of the things I like to do for women who are, let's jump to the postmenopausal women. One of the main issues we have is, first of all, as women, we all have a normal level of testosterone that's required. So we need to have a nice balance between estrogen, testosterone, progesterone. When you are in menopause, your regular female hormone levels drop because your ovarian function also ages with you, right? So one of the issues is, while your testosterone levels are staying at this level, you always had this amount of estrogen, and all of a sudden through menopause now, this estrogen is getting lower and it drops below your testosterone level. So now you have a relatively high testosterone, but it didn't move. It's just that your female hormone levels
Is dropping.
Yeah. So your body reads that testosterone as if it's higher. So sometimes in these women, I love to use anti-testosterone type things. There's a medication I use a lot of. It's called spironolactone. It blocks your receptors to actually. You guys are going to be doctors when I'm done with you. Okay?
I have to learn to pronounce this
Just
first.
ask me to spell it.
Yeah, so we just block your ability to read testosterone, and then you start reading your female hormone. Not that we've changed the female
How
hormone.
we
just
reading
like-
it? Peeing on a stick or something?
No. I mean your cell function. You are reading the testosterone. Your body is now reading the estrogen because I'm blocking you from seeing how much testosterone you have. So by that, your hair can regenerate. Okay, so that's the key.
So
with
you're gonna
scalp.
turn like extra sexy with that?
That's the thing.
Like
A
everything's
lot of
gonna
So
glow.
basically, we turn into old hags because we don't have estrogen.
Pretty much, we knew that long time ago. But honestly speaking, when we actually shut down those testosterones after menopause, you get those feminizing effects. So you lose the beard that you might have had. You get more. Your hair is thicker. Your skin is more smoother. So a lot of women love this.
And then the
because
boys are
it's a-
coming back to your yard because your milkshakes tastier.
The estrogen is back.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the ingredient that's missing.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's funny that
know,
the male hormone has always been the more dominant, because when you're born, for that fertilization to happen, it starts out as a male hormone, and then we end with a male hormone.
Well, we were.
This is bad news.
I'm telling you.
Okay,
It's
it's
very
bad news for the
serious.
revolution
We
of
actually
women.
came from Adam.
Hormones are messing up
And I mean, let me just say this, right? So the hormones are messing with us, but let's go back to the point that sometimes some persons do not want to use any medications to get their
Give me
hair
the
back.
meds, but it's
So
okay.
you say give you the meds?
The meds.
Some people don't want the meds. So let me just show this quick thing before we move. All right. So, does anybody know what this is?
A thing for your face.
Oh, you can use it on your face.
I see people use
So
it.
this,
feel it?
you should.
I'm joking.
It looks like a kitchen product.
Touch it. So this is a derma roller. So what it
does it
is
feel like?
it's a pin.
Why does Adri's face look like this? Wait, sorry.
Touch yourself with it. Yes. It's prickly because don't press it because it's actually sharp, fine needles that are on this roller.
It hurts and feel good. I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
how it's supposed to
Get away from this.
But yeah.
Let me experiment this.
It's a
Did you roll it?
strange sensation.
It's a strange sensation, but
Yeah.
hear
Yeah.
what? Now, when you use things like these, you can actually stimulate growth on your scalp. Yes, we use it for rejuvenation.
But we've all tested on our hands. I mean, what are you doing? We've tested here. Safe places.
Chest of hair now?
No.
It's gonna.
But hear what? I like that you put it there because I actually use this for rejuvenation as well. So those persons who have those fine wrinkles, if you have acne scars, if you have scars on your chest, and you use there's actually these fine needles that enter the skin a little bit. What they do is they stimulate collagen, and so they give you a rejuvenated feel. So this is, it could be used for stretch marks. Oh
wow.
Right? So you see how this tool is amazing? I'm talking about it for hair, regaining hair. I'm talking about it
rub that
regenerating.
in your head?
Yes.
How
So-
would it not tangle your hair up? It's like a million.
Right. That's a good one. So you actually have to, for persons who have a lot of hair, when I have guys who's using this, they don't have a problem with short hair. But you would have to part your hair, use 2 fingers to spread, and then you're going to go in 3 directions. So you're going to go up, down, right? You're going to go across, all the way up, and then you're going to go diagonal. Okay? So you actually have to do that. If you have a lot of hair, April, can I do you?
Were you describing it right?
She was like,
Don't say it, April.
Yes.
We're on TV.
You're too good. Up, down.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Across.
So how
It's like
soon
brushing
do you
your
see
teeth.
a difference if you use the tool versus the medication?
All right. So I often use them in combination, but the tool, you have to use it at least twice a week in the affected area. All right. And usually, so far I've seen, I mean, we do it in office as well with a different similar tool. And within a 2-month period or so, you usually get a little bit thicker hair. Yeah. So you can actually see it, and it's sensational on YouTube right now because YouTube has they have so many different testimonials and different videos showing you how some women even regain their hairline, even though that's a version of scarring alopecia. The key is when traction alopecia just starts, it's non-scarring, so you can get your hairline back quick with this. So you do it twice a week, and probably by your 3rd or 4th week, you should start seeing things thickening up. But you know, nothing happens overnight, but this is a fantastic tool.
And you have these at Breva.
You have
I do
those
have
for
these
sale?
at Brevaderm. So
You got a
it's
little
something
bigger
you
one
can-
because you said stretch marks, you know.
Well, they come in this size
Lot of
only, so you're gonna have
a lot
to.
of surface area.
You gotta go
I gotta
through
give
your
it to somebody, let
surface
them do it
area.
able. Then it goes back to Angela and her. This feels so good and bad at the same time.
Because it hurts, but it feels good. I don't know how to describe it.
Absolutely. But it's definitely one of those things. If you're having hair loss issues, and it's androgenic alopecia especially, and if it's early traction alopecia, then it's one of those good things that you can use.
What is it
What is
called?
the name?
Oh, yeah.
A derma roller. Derma roller.
We can pronounce that.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
real
Yes, you got
simple.
it.
Derma roller.
Derma roller.
Derma rollers for everybody.
Absolutely.
But then
Absolutely.
I want to go back to the. We have time, Lord. I want to go back to the hormone imbalance.
Yeah.
Like when we're losing estrogen. Is there anything else, even nutritional wise, we could do to boost that? Because if we don't want to do meds, and I mean we have the roller, but if we change our diet too, because aren't foods, don't they have hormones and stuff? If you could highlight that.
I would say this. You have there's some natural supplements. how many of you have seen saw palmetto? Saw palmetto. So this is something. It's a plant, so you can actually either make it yourself. But I haven't seen the plant in the BVI. But I have to say that you can buy it in supplement, and this is a natural thing in nature that you can have anti-androgen effects. So the same kind of results I'm looking for with my spironolactone, on a smaller scale, it can definitely help. And then in terms of actual things you can apply that's anti-hormonal or anti-androgenic, these are something you call it the fenugreek seeds.
Yes.
Anybody know about
Yes.
fenugreek
I used to
seeds?
take it for my breast milk.
Right. So you can actually soak the seeds in water, and then you can blend them up, grind them up, and use it as a treatment. Leave it on your scalp for about maybe like 30 minutes or so. And then you consistently do that for maybe once a week or so. And this is something that you can actually do.
My hair was
Okay.
so long.
Natural.
Fenugreek is nasty. But
You don't have to eat it. Put it on.
but can we eat it though?
Yeah, I think that's really, really good.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Listen, we have had so many comments about the last episode talking about hair loss and how you could rejuvenate that I think that we might have to do a part 3 to this simply because it's so relevant to our culture in terms of the people that we have, how women are taking care of their hair, especially in BVI and beyond. We have audiences from all over. I've had some friends from St. Croix and St. Martin who told me they really loved the last episode. So definitely we might have to continue this conversation a bit more. But I wanted to break us up just for a little bit because today we are sitting in one of BVI's newest hotspots. We're at the Coconut Lounge in the Cyril B. Rumney Tortola Pear Park, and it is an awesome place.
This is my first time here, and
Me too.
as I hit the door, I was like, oh wow, this is nice.
It's
really, really
quaint. Doesn't it have a really nice cozy feel to it?
Yes.
I just love the way it's been decorated. It's not too rustic. It's not too modern. It makes you feel right at home. It's a perfect place after work to grab something to eat or drink with a friend. You can come here just to have conversations. They have light bits to munch on. They have a lot of things for you to drink. It is an amazing place. And it's located, I think, in Building 1 on Tortola Pear Park. So you come all the way down to the end towards the seaside. You're going to come up the stairs. You're going to look for the 2 coconuts. And you're going to keep going until you get here. We want to say thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity to come and film here today. We absolutely love the ambience of the place. Don't forget, they're open, I think, every day of the week. Fridays, they are definitely a hot spot to be at. Saturdays, make sure you come on down and you grab a bite to drink. Tell them the OAN team sent you, okay? And have them make a drink specifically for us, okay?
I like that shit.
We need coconut lunch to make
Yeah, we're gonna need them to make a drink, so we'll get them.
And it has to have the colors.
It has to have all the colors in it, so they'll add an olive at the end of it for that bit of green. So we're gonna talk to them about that. But so don't forget to check them out on the Cyril B. Rumney Tortola Pear Park for a nice drink, a nice girls' evening out. This has been your Real Appeal. On another note.
Thank you, ladies. It's been an awesome show. Really good topics, interesting conversations. I would say, and really, really good points. I think we can continue the conversations on our Facebook page, which is our home, OANTalk BVI. Check us out also on YouTube and Instagram. And before we close out, we have to say congratulations to our sister, our social media manager, yes. Nikita, baby. She's our sister too. Congrats. You're gonna be hearing a lot from your godmother's here on OANTalk, you know. There you go.
At least this episode will help her too. Girl, keep taking
Yes, please.
keep on going.
You're right, Jenna. It's true.
So you don't go ball like me. I went ball. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyways, it's been awesome. You've been an awesome audience. See ya. On another note, we'll be back with more hot topics.